Okay, well, first off, why am I changing the battery? It started making irritating beep noise. I did lots of Googling, research and stuff, telling me there's something wrong with the system. I couldn't find anything wrong with the system, and then I tracked it down to the battery. Hence, did a good Google search, which was a nightmare, and came up with this new battery. So here we go. Shut it down, flip it over on a nice soft surface, and toweling is very useful because you can see the screws when you take them out, and if you drop something it doesn't tend to bounce. Okay, let's get on with it. Let's get these screws out. Well, I'm going to start by taking out these two panels. As it happens, all the screws are the same length, so I don't need to lay them out in the same shape that they are around the case. Useful if you've got a slightly magnetic screwdriver. I couldn't find information about this particular version of Acer online. I was hoping that the hard drive would lift out. So, unfortunately it doesn't just lift out. So, here we go. Speed up this bit. In fact, I'll take the lot out. Makes no odds really which way I attack this. Right, so that's all the screws out. Could do with a bigger workplace here. Now, there is a little tool you can do this with, but in fact, I found running my fingernail around the edge was enough to actually separate these two. Once you get something in there, or you can use the edge of a credit card or something. Even the edge of my little screwdriver here was enough to just give it a start. Run it round. I don't know if you can see that now. It's not easy to do this and show you on camera. Move away a bit for that. Fingernail or plastic jigger thing comes off quite easily. If it doesn't, don't force it. As you can see. Now be careful when you lift it up. Some of these will lift off and the hard drive and the battery are nice and detached from this. On this particular version, the hard drive is actually attached to the board, and I'll try and show you inside there. Well, basically that's the battery, but there was no way I was going to be able to actually get it off without detaching the hard drive, and I didn't fancy playing around with those tiny little cables. It's not very easy to get in there to unplug, well, you can't even see it there, unplug the cable to the hard drive. So the solution was, rather than attempt to undo those little cables, was take out 4 little screws that secured the hard drive to the top of the case, pass it through the hole. Sorry I didn't catch this on camera. I'd laid a handkerchief on the top of the circuit inside so that I wouldn't have any risk of a short circuit, and then it was possible just to lift the top of the case away. Right, so you can see the battery there. Looks to me like just 2 little crossheads there, tiny little crosshead screws, and it goes into a multi-way clip there. Anyway, let's hope this is the right battery, because there were so many. The company that I bought it from said it was, but I will, before I take that out, let's have a good look. I must say that looks like remarkably the right battery. Okay, so let's get this one undone. Does that fit? Yeah, I'll find another one. Right, well, I've got a good selection here. God, that is so tight, man. Oh, actually, that one does it. That one does it, but it needs a fair bit of pressure. What I don't want to do is butcher the crosshead, or I'll never get it out. Hope it doesn't go in that one. Doesn't go in that either. Christ. Right, well, I have to be honest here. Despite having a selection of half a dozen or more tiny little Phillips crosshead screws, I cannot possibly get that out. So what I'm going to have to do is break this tab, which is a real shame, but you might have this problem too. That screw is just so tough. I'll have one more go, but anyway, I think it's going to be take off the tab. Incidentally, that's the other screw which I've just taken out, and I don't know if it focuses this close, but it's got so much thread lock on it. In fact, the whole thread, it's surprising that that even came out. Okay then, the only way I'm going to be able to deal with this is to cut the tab off. Okay, so I still haven't quite got it off, but what I'm going to do now, because it's starting to pull out, is pull out this little connector. So I have been able to lift it, and I could probably just snap it off. Yep, it's coming. What a botched job. Anyway, that's not how it's supposed to go. But now I've got that off, I'll be able to get a little grip onto this and undo the screw. Actually, it's not too bad. Once you get hold of that, you can bloody turn the thing. Yeah, I can see that the screw's turning now, but look how much force it needs. How ridiculous for a battery. Okay, maybe it'll unscrew now. Oh yeah, look at that, just like that. Anyway, now we've got past this bit, the rest should be relatively straightforward. As you can see, just 2 screws. Easy to put the new battery in, quite straightforward. I've kind of pre-twisted that to the right shape. That's got to go in there. Just gently push it in the right way. Take a picture before you pull it out. Push that down, out of the way. This clips in first at the back end, and then there are 2 little clips here, and in having to break that off, I've actually bent this, and it didn't quite want to go, so I've got to try and bend it back. Just a little that way. So it drops on, so it goes back. And should have second on the side. I think what I have to do is push it over a bit. Hand up. That hand up. Maybe I'll just snip that tab off. Doesn't need it. I'm going to snip the tab off. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. A bit of brute force, right. That end in there, that end on there, that one clips on nicely, screws in. I could tell it wasn't quite right this end when I was putting the screw in, because it wasn't quite down far enough. So there's nothing wrong with my screwdrivers. What's wrong with it was the thread lock. Well, just in case you couldn't quite see what was going on there, you've got little clips at this end, so back end first, and a couple of little clips there. That's where the screws went, and I'm sure that's perfectly happy without all that stuff. Right, time to put the hard drive back in. Everything looking all right? That's plugged in properly. Is it? Just about, yep, make sure. Bear in mind the board is live, so gotta be careful how you do this stuff. Right, so get hold of this. Lay it here. Get hold of my hard drive. Pass it back through. Oh. In the right place. Thank God they didn't put thread lock on those. Right, so 4 screws on the hard drive. I'll zoom in for that bit maybe. Right, well, 4 screws on the hard drive. Unfortunately I zoomed in on the wrong bit, but they are here, here, here and here. Make sure you don't drop them into the casing while you're doing this, because it'd be a real pain. Okay, that's straightforward enough. And sorry I didn't actually catch passing it through and putting it on a handkerchief that I'd put there just to stop any shorts. Right, so this should just clip back together with a few clicks. Zoom back out again here. Just like that. Easy. Put all the screws back in, put these little panels back in. It's obvious which way they go because they've got a little cutout in the corner, like that. And tuck in this way on here, so tuck that in that side. Clip it in, and here, just like that. And then we're going to have the moment of truth in a minute. Right, screws in, and incidentally, I wasn't sure what it was at the time, but they actually put thread lock on these too, but it's not the blue, it's a red, so it's a softer thread lock, thank God. Right, I've dropped them all in, just going to go around and give them all a super speed wind up. So you look at YouTube vids, change your laptop battery, dead easy job. Well, I guess it should be. That wasn't quite as easy as I thought it was going to be. Sorted, right, and no screws left on here. Well, as you saw, that was not quite as easy as I thought it was going to be. Let's hope you have more luck. Let's see if it fires up. Looking hopeful. It says Acer. Yeah, so anyway, hope you found that useful. Any questions or comments, stick them down below. Please check out some of the other stuff on my channel. Maybe even give this a like. Well, that's all for now. Good luck. God, this is filthy. Right, catch you all later.